Hey everyone! Welcome to today's explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into this absolutely magical world where numbers literally come alive, play together, and solve puzzles. Today we're exploring the fantastic foundation of math, really looking at how tiny, simple blocks stack up to create, well, incredible things. So, if you're ready to become a number master, you are in exactly the right place. Let's go.
So, let me ask you a very important question right off the bat. Do you know how to count? I know. It might seem super simple, but counting is actually this huge, important mystery that unlocks pretty much everything else we're going to learn today. And honestly, we're going to need your absolute sharpest counting skills right this second because, well, we have a bit of a situation on our hands involving our snacks.
All right, I want to introduce you to a very sneaky creature, the flapjack snaffler. Legend says this guy has exactly 3 eyes to spy out treats, 3 arms to grab them, and 3 mouths to gobble them up. When a plate of 4 delicious flapjacks suddenly turns into 3, yeah, you know the flapjack snaffler has struck. But how do we know for sure exactly how many flapjacks we actually have left?
Well, to solve mysteries exactly like this one, we have to learn the 3 golden rules of counting. Rule number 1, count everything once. You got to point at them one at a time so you don't miss any, or, accidentally count the same one twice. Rule number 2, say the numbers in the right order. Because if you just shout out random numbers, you'll never actually know the real amount. And rule number 3, the most magical one of all, the last number you say, that is exactly how many you have in total.
Part 1, making bigger numbers. So now that we've got our counting rules totally locked down, let's see how we can take tiny numbers and magically squish them together to make completely new, much bigger numbers. This right here is the secret to building everything in our number world. It all starts right here, with one little block just falling from the sky. One block, one apple, one wonderful world. But, as amazing as the number 1 is, being just one single block can sometimes get a little bit lonely. So what happens when 1 decides she wants to make some friends? Well, look at what happens when 1 finds another 1. They don't just sit next to each other. No, 1 plus 1 magically equals 2. Suddenly, you've got this brand new number with 2 blocks, totally ready for 2 dancing shoes or, say, a really good game of tennis. And the magic just keeps going. If we bring 3 single blocks together, so that's 1 plus 1 plus 1, they actually combine to make the number 3. 3 blocks means you can juggle 3 balls or have 3 apples. Literally every single time you add another 1, a whole new number block comes to life. So there's a very special secret you've got to remember here. Every big shape is made up of lots of little ones. Whether you're building a square out of 4 or a giant star out of 5, it all comes back to adding those little ones together. By teaming up, those little ones can literally reach the sky. Okay, let's test this out with a quick game. We need to stop the Number Blocks Express train, but here is the big catch. It only stops for the number 5. So if we only have smaller numbers, like a 1, a 2, or a 3, how in the world are we going to get that train to stop? You guessed it, we have to build a 5. Look at all these different magic combinations we can use to build a 5. If you have a 4, you can just add a 1. If you have a 2, you can add a 3. And if you have a 3, well, you can add a 2. As long as the parts add up to 5 blocks total, you win the game, and the train stops. It's so cool how there are so many clever ways to solve the exact same problem. Moving on to part 2, splitting numbers apart. We've mastered putting numbers together, but did you know you can take them apart too? Welcome to the fantastic fun fruit factory, where we slice, dice, and literally split numbers right into pieces. So, inside the factory, big numbers can be perfectly broken down. Watch as a 2 goes into the machine and splits right down the middle into a 1 and another 1. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. The big number just becomes 2 smaller parts. And the beautiful thing is, splitting numbers up really isn't so hard, and it definitely won't break your heart. Just remember, 1 is a part of me, and 1 is a part of me, and the whole of me is 2. Even when they are split apart, those pieces still belong to the whole. You can actually split any number into smaller parts. A 3 can split into a 2 and a 1. A 4, that splits perfectly evenly into a 2 and a 2. A 5 can split into a 4 and a 1. Knowing all these hidden parts makes playing games, like, say, hide and seek with numbers, so much fun because you always know exactly who is hiding inside those bigger numbers. All right, part 3, the hero named Zero. Now, this brings us to a really fascinating question. What happens when you've counted absolutely everything, eaten all the flapjacks, and there is literally nothing left to count? What number do we use then?
Enter our hero. When there are no blocks, no apples on the tree, and absolutely no unicorns to see anywhere, you've got 0. 0 is simply the number for nothing, and it is exactly 1 less than 1. When there's nothing there to count, none is the amount. It's a super important number, even if it looks like a whole lot of nothing.
Part 4, which number is bigger? Now it's time to meet a very, very special friend of ours named Blockzilla. Blockzilla is a giant, and she absolutely loves to play a specific game all about comparing sizes. Basically, she loves to look at 2 different numbers and figure out which one is bigger and which one is smaller. Now, Blockzilla has a very simple rule. She always wants to play with the bigger number. So if she sees a 2 and a 3, she counts the blocks. Because 3 has more blocks than 2, she says, 3 is greater than 2, me like 3.
And we can see exactly how Blockzilla thinks right here. Notice how that stack of blocks for 5 towers way, way higher than the stack for 3? Just by looking at the height, we can immediately tell which number has more blocks inside it. It's like a really easy visual cheat code.
And because of this, we have special math words we get to use. We say 3 is less than 5 because, well, it's smaller. And we say 5 is greater than 3 because it's bigger. So when Blockzilla looks at these 2, she definitely wants to play with a 5. No question about it.
And wow, that brings us to the end of our numerical adventure. You've learned the golden rules of counting, how to add little ones to make bigger numbers, how to split them back apart, the magic of 0, and of course, how to tell which number is greater. Now that you are a true number master, I'll leave you with this. What magical numbers and shapes will you build today? Thanks so much for exploring this explainer with me, and hey, keep counting.